Once upon a time, Peppa Pig and her little brother George were playing in their backyard. The sun was shining, and they were jumping in muddy puddles when suddenly, "George, look over here," Peppa called. Behind a thick bush, they found something hidden under a big pile of leaves. Peppa and George brushed away the leaves and gasped. "It's a playhouse," Peppa said, her eyes wide with excitement. The playhouse looked very old. Its windows were dusty, and the little door creaked when George pushed it open. "Let's go inside," Peppa said, stepping in bravely. As soon as they entered, they heard a strange noise. Creak, skreek. "What was that?" George whispered, holding his dinosaur toy tightly. Peppa giggled. "Maybe it's just the wind, George," she said, trying to sound brave. But then, thump! Both Peppa and George jumped. "Who's there?" Peppa asked. But there was no answer. They looked around the playhouse. There were old toys, a broken chair, and cobwebs in the corners. George stayed close to Peppa as they explored. Suddenly, a shadow moved across the wall. "Ah, a ghost!" George cried. Peppa paused and took a deep breath. "Wait a minute, George. Ghosts aren't real. Let's figure this out." She looked carefully at the wall and saw something funny. "Look, that's our own shadow." George tilted his head. "Shadow," Peppa smiled. "When the light from the window shines behind us, it makes our shadow on the wall. See?" She waved her arms, and the shadow moved just like her. "Oh!" George giggled and waved his arms too. "Hello, shadow!" Feeling braver now, they continued to explore. Then they heard the creaking sound again. Peppa followed the sound and found a loose floorboard. She gently lifted it and discovered a treasure box. Inside the box, there were old photos, letters, and a little wooden toy. Peppa picked up a photo of a young piggy. "Look, George, this playhouse belonged to Granny Pig when she was little. When Granny Pig came over later, Peppa and George showed her the treasure." "Oh my, I remember this playhouse," Granny Pig said, smiling. "I used to play here all the time. Thank you for finding my special memories." Peppa beamed. "We solved the mystery of the haunted playhouse." Granny Pig laughed. "And you learned something important too. Things aren't always as scary as they seem." Peppa nodded. "Sometimes if you look closely, you can figure out the truth," George clapped. "And shadows are fun." Everyone laughed. And so Peppa and George learned that curiosity, bravery, and thinking carefully can help solve mysteries, and that sometimes old things can hold wonderful stories. The end. Please note that this story teaches them about shadows, curiosity, and the importance of using observation and problem-solving skills to understand the world around them. It also highlights the joy of discovering family history and memories. Thank you for watching. See you in the next updated videos. Bye-bye.